Multimedia Presentation, Childhood or Older Adult Issues, Dysgraphia by Emma Joy Rathbun in Dr. Ray Taylor's Developmental Psychology class. What is dysgraphia? Well, dysgraphia can range from issues with physically writing to even translating thoughts into written words. Dysgraphia can appear with many different symptoms, primarily in children. Dysgraphia is a neurological disorder that affects a person's ability to write coherently and efficiently. The term comes from the Greek roots dys, meaning difficulty, and graphia, meaning writing. Individuals with dysgraphia may struggle with handwriting, spelling, and organizing written thoughts onto a physical medium, such as paper. Dysgraphia highly affects writing. Writing includes multiple skills, such as motor skills, perception, active memory, organization, logical reasoning, language processing, conceptualization, and coherence. Now, there are multiple subcategories in relation to dysgraphia. The first is dyslexic dysgraphia, where the child has a great ability to copy writing but cannot write for oneself. There's also trouble spelling and unreadable handwriting. Next is phonological dysgraphia. Child has issues spelling primarily due to difficulty memorizing phonemes. Then there's lexical dysgraphia, issues spelling irregular words caused by the way it sounds like it should be spelled. Child relying too heavily on sound patterns. For example, the word Wednesday. Often children with lexical dysgraphia will want to spell Wednesday without a D. Motor dysgraphia. Child has deficiency in fine motor skills, poor muscle tone, and poor dexterity. Their writing is messy and very difficult to read. Then spatial dysgraphia. Issues writing words with spaces and staying within the lines of a paper. Spelling skills often go unaffected, however. Now, to fully understand dysgraphia and the impact it has on development with adolescents, it's important to understand normal childhood development. All of these definitions come from the Feldman Lifespan Development textbook. Physical development involving the body's physical makeup, including the brain, nervous system, muscles, senses, and the need for food, drink, and sleep. Cognitive development is development involving the ways that growth and change in intellectual capabilities influence a person's behavior. Social development is the ways in which individuals' interactions with others and their social relationships grow, change, and remain stable over the course of life. Personality development is a development involving the ways that the enduring characteristics that differentiate one person from another change over the lifespan. This is all examples of lifespan development, but in adolescence. The impact of dysgraphia on normal development. Children with dysgraphia often struggle with a multitude of issues related to and caused by dysgraphia. First, insecurity and social confidence. Insecurity and difficulty with social confidence is apparent in those with dysgraphia. Constant comparison to peers and repeated writing challenges can lead to low self-esteem and anxiety about academic performance. Academic struggles. Difficulties with writing can lower grades and confidence, creating a cycle of frustration and avoidance in school. Fine motor skills as well. Poor hand coordination and muscle control make writing physically tiring and slow, worsening the overall impact of dysgraphia. Now, there are also disparities among culture to take into account. Cultural stigma may label handwriting issues as laziness instead of a learning difference. Teaching styles, cursive emphasis, or tech use affect how writing difficulties are recognized or even brought to attention. These disparities lead to unequal support, wider academic gaps, and lower self-esteem globally and within the classroom. Different writing systems, alphabetic versus other different systems, influence how dysgraphia appears as well. Limited access to specialists and low awareness delays diagnoses in lower socioeconomic regions. They may never even know that their child has dysgraphia due to low awareness. Multilingual learners face extra challenges that can mask dysgraphia as well, because many may just blame it on learning many different languages instead of an actual neurological disorder. The role of dysgraphia and why early prevention is so critical. Early identification of dysgraphia allows for parents and teachers to be able to help before it becomes a habit. There's many ways of detecting it in early elementary years. Early intervention supports brain development during critical periods of neuroplasticity. And within the right guidance, children can strengthen fine motor coordination, language processing, integration, and improving your handwritten and written communication skills. There are ways to improve and benefit this. Now, preventing academic setbacks is key. Without early support, students may struggle across multiple subjects and even be held back and not advance within their cohort. Emotional and social benefits are significant. Early prevention reduces frustration, anxiety, and low self-esteem. Recognizing dysgraphia early can change the game for children and build self-advocacy skills and resilience. Now, a long-term impact is that children who receive early help are more likely to perform with their peers, develop positive attitudes toward learning, and gain lifelong fluency through individualized strategies like occupational therapy, typing programs, and assistive technology. Who's at risk of dysgraphia? Well, children with ADHD, autism, or DCD are at higher risk due to overlapping issues with neurodevelopmental conditions. Genetic and family history also takes account because of other things relying in genetics. Motor and neurological factors are also taken into account with weak hand strength and poor motor skills. Early speech or reading difficulties often predict later writing struggles as well. And environmental and emotional factors as well. Limited writing practice, comparison, social dejection, and not a safe space to learn also affects the detection of dysgraphia. There's also a very harmful stigma in relation to dysgraphia, misunderstanding, emotional consequences, and educational impact, social isolation, and long-term effects. Dysgraphia statistics. 10 to 30% of school-aged children have dysgraphia. 59% of children with ADHD or autism or another neuro disorder often have dysgraphia. Studies estimate 3 to 10% with diagnosed written expression disorder or dysgraphia, up to 20% struggle with writing. Symptoms of dysgraphia: fatigue or frustration when writing, poor performance in written assessments, despite strong verbal skills, low self-esteem. I'm just going to take a couple off of this slide. Illegible writing, writing slowly, trouble with grammar, problems with spelling, difficulty organization, illegible writing. I can assume that illegible writing must be the most detectable symptom of dysgraphia. This is the first example of dysgraphia. It's a visual aid to help others understand. This is the second visual aid of dysgraphia. And here's my APA reference page. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation about dysgraphia and how it affects adolescents and their development. We need to raise awareness and to help others truly understand how it affects this neurological disorder to help support the children. Thank you so much.